I recently had a pretty negative experience with someone stealing content. It was specifically some behind the scenes photos we'd taken on a couple shoots, and another company or individual decided to just take those photos and post them on their social media saying like, hey, look at us filming, like their company, like it was them. And that just sucks. That's a really crappy thing to do. Like, it's not you. It doesn't represent your work. So why do it? Why take the time to fake it? I guess they think fake it till you make it. But like, what? You're going to get a client job and then not be able to deliver because you were pretending like you were somebody else, and then you lose that client because they realize you were a liar. I guess if you could just keep lying to clients over and over again, you'll get work for a while. Maybe. I don't know. It just seems like a really scummy thing to do. I reached out to them, I contacted them, I said, hey, not cool, right? And they responded, they had egg on their face, they got caught, and they fixed the problem. But at the same time, you're like, why was it even a problem to begin with? A lot of people have talked about this, but I felt like I'd say it too, just in case maybe you're a person who doesn't quite understand the significance or the impact of it. It's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't really care. It doesn't affect me. I just think they're not the best people. But if you're planning on like stealing someone else's work, maybe it's a shot that someone else did or some tutorial that someone else did, and you're just recreating it and passing it off as your own work. Like, what's the point? Like, you're not in any situation where you're doing something like that. You're trying to portray your work, right? Like, hire me because I am able to do this. And then you get hired and you can't do it because someone else did it. So what's the point, right? To look cool, to feel good about yourself? Well, you didn't actually do it. You're just stealing. So why would that make you feel good? It doesn't really make sense. And I'm not going to name the company because I don't want to give them any more promotion. And I don't think people need to necessarily know and go like hunt them down or anything like that. It's just like, it happens all the time. Unfortunately, on the internet, people stealing other people's work, and I don't think I've ever done it, not consciously anyway, because I'd hate for someone to be like, "Oh, you stole this" or whatever. But like, no, I'm pretty sure I've never done that. I think it's an integrity thing, right? It's like a moral, ethical thing. You should represent yourself as who you are, and like it's okay. Like that's the thing. Okay, it's okay to be a small startup person or someone who's just getting into it. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they're saying how they're getting maternity photos from somebody who they're just trying to get into photography. So they're going to do it for free essentially. And they're going to edit the photos and give it to them. And the couple who's getting the maternity photos, they don't really want to spend money anyway. So it's a win-win. They get free work and they understand that it's coming from somebody who's like an amateur or just starting as a professional. And the other person's like, great, I get some work, I get some experience, I get to build my portfolio, because they're not stealing somebody else's work, right? They're not going and saying like, oh, look at this great maternity photo I took. You want me to take yours? Yeah, it's going to cost you, I don't know, whatever they decide to charge. And then they can't deliver on it. Like, I understand. It happens all the time. People do it. They think they can like pass themselves off as something bigger or greater than they are. But that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help that person trying to build their business, because the moment they fail, like they're not going to get more work because they're not going to get recommendations. Almost like all the work that you are, not all the work, but a lot of the work you're going to get is going to come from word of mouth and people recommending you and saying, oh, check out so-and-so, they do really good work. Or they might not say that. Maybe they say, so-and-so does really affordable work, right? Because maybe you don't do the best stuff, but you're affordable because you're just starting out and you're just new. I'm sure there's like really high-end people who maybe steal work. I can't imagine why they would, but maybe those people exist and they're just dirtbags. But I think it comes from this mentality of like people trying to pump themselves up and say like, oh, this is my business. This is my brand. This is what I do. I take wedding photos, or I do these kind of videos, and it's so high end, and it's, but like, you don't have to try and start there. Like, it's okay to work your way up. Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but that's part of the deal, right? Because if you're just starting out anyway, you're going to make mistakes, and you don't want a client paying you thousands of dollars to make mistakes. You want to make all your mistakes on the free stuff, on the cheap stuff, because you can explain to them basically like, hey, I'm just starting out. You're not paying me anything. So when you lose the footage or you forget to hit record or your white balance is off or whatever, they know that like, well, it was free, right? And like, yeah, people will still be disappointed. They're not going to be happy that it didn't turn out well. But on the same time, like if you don't make those mistakes and you do a really good job, they're going to say, man, they did such a good job. I want to bring them back. And like, maybe they'll pay you for the next time, or maybe they'll recommend you to somebody else who will pay you. Like that's how you got to get started. So again, like why steal? It doesn't help anything. So don't steal tutorial materials and put them in your demo reel. Don't steal other people's work and put it in your demo reel. Don't try and pass other people's photos or behind the scenes or whatever off as your own, because it doesn't help you. It really doesn't. There's no point to it. And at the end of the day, it's just going to hurt you. It's the internet, right? People find stuff out. It's not hard. They're going to find out. And then like people are definitely not going to want to work with you if they find out you're stealing stuff and lying. Cause like, I'm trying to think of a more egregious offense in terms of like business and like how you represent yourself. Like it's just it's not a good thing to do. So if you've ever thought about it, you're contemplating it, or you just don't, stay away from it.